From a plane carrying dozens of passengers crashed near Sao Paulo, Brazil, to a small plane crashed into homes in a residential neighborhood of Santee, in East San Diego County. Welcome to our channel. Buckle up for an exciting ride as we take you on a journey of discovery and adventure. On October 11, 2021, a small plane crashed into homes in a residential neighborhood of Santee, in East San Diego County.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's me.
The pilot was identified by colleagues, and a UPS truck parked outside the home sustained significant damage. The crash occurred just 2 or 3 blocks from a school, but thankfully, all students were safe. The plane, seen descending sharply, crashed into the ground, creating a massive fireball. The impact was so intense that the shock wave shook the camera. The jet had lost contact with the air traffic control tower and ended up crashing onto a highway, where it struck both a motorcycle and a car during its failed landing attempt. The jet, flying at 500 mph, was performing a low pass when it attempted a loop-the-loop but failed to pull up in time. The crash shocked the crowd as the plane erupted into flames, landing just yards from the road. A plane carrying dozens of passengers crashed near Sao Paulo, Brazil, erupting into a horrifying fireball visible from miles away. The moment the massive jet seemingly stalls mid-air before plunging to the ground, stunned onlookers screaming as the video cuts off with flames and thick black smoke filling the screen. The plane was nearly full, with around 62 people on board. As of now, there's still no confirmation on what caused the accident or the status of those on board. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join our community today and never miss out. The aircraft, which was performing a maneuver, lost control and slammed into the ground, creating a dramatic and intense explosion. Spectators were caught on camera shouting and screaming in shock as a dense plume of smoke rose from the wreckage. In a horrifying crash in Goiaberuba, Brazil, a small plane plummeted more than 1,000 feet onto a busy road, narrowly missing cars and a pedestrian during a test flight. The incident, which occurred around 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, was caused by a suspected engine failure. The plane crashed at an angle, hitting a wall and breaking into several pieces, though the cockpit remained partially intact. The pilot managed to crawl out of the wreckage, while a woman walking nearby was initially unaware of the approaching plane, but turned around just in time to see it hit the ground.
Caiu avião aqui na Guabiruba, na rua de trás, aqui perto da Guabifim.
A small plane recently crashed into a yard in Roy, a suburb of Ogden, sparking renewed debate about the safety of a nearby Utah airport known for frequent crashes. This incident has led some local officials to call for the airport to be relocated due to ongoing safety concerns associated with its current location. Miraculously, both the pilot and co-pilot were pulled to safety and survived the incident. The Peruvian aircraft plowed through a row of dangling wires before the impact, which crushed the SUV on the quiet street. Residents from nearby homes and businesses rushed to help the injured pilots, who were trapped inside the damaged plane. The harrowing moments leading up to a small plane crash in California that tragically left several others in harm.
Holy shit! It's crashing! Holy shit!
The video shows the plane struggling in the air before it crashes, capturing the intense moments of its descent and impact. Stay with us until the end for content that will keep you on the edge of your seat. In July 2018, a vintage fighter jet nosedived into a Wisconsin dairy barn shortly after takeoff, resulting in the tragic harm of 50 cows. The crash occurred during a routine flight. The incident caused significant damage to the barn and highlighted concerns about aviation safety in the area. The plane nosedived onto the freeway and burst into flames. Fortunately, the pilot and passenger were pulled to safety before the fire fully engulfed the aircraft.
Just had to evacuate. We landed in Denver. Holy
The incident occurred around 2:20 p.m. on July 3, 2017, as the jet approached Denver International Airport. The engine was reportedly ablaze during the landing, prompting a swift evacuation of all passengers. Emergency crews responded promptly and worked to extinguish the fire, ensuring that everyone was safely evacuated from the aircraft. On October 29, 2016, a FedEx cargo plane carrying 46,000 pounds of U.S. mail burst into flames moments after landing at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport.
Oh!
The Boeing Maryland 10 aircraft experienced a collapse of its landing gear, which sparked a fire that quickly escalated. The fuselage exploded, and the left wing ignited, with a piece of the wing flying into the air during the explosion. The dramatic scene was captured on camera by a witness at the airport, showing the intensity of the blaze and the destruction caused by the incident.
Quand ça va bien, ça va bien.
At Trudeau Montreal Airport, a ground vehicle caught fire near an Air Canada Boeing 777. The blaze erupted close to the aircraft, prompting a swift response from emergency crews. Fortunately, the quick action of the airport's fire and safety teams helped contain the fire and prevent any damage to the aircraft. If you did, we'd be thrilled if you could show your support by liking and subscribing. It really helps us out. The Fairchild Metroliner Mark I went down near the runway just moments after takeoff and then burst into flames. A witness saw the plane suddenly tilt to the right before it plunged straight to the ground. The pilot of the Boeing 767-300, operated by FedEx, reported a landing gear failure to Los Angeles International Airport's air traffic control around 3:50 a.m., sparks flying as the plane screeched to a halt along the runway. Unfortunately, one of the two pilots aboard the plane was harmed when they jumped from the cockpit. The airport, usually bustling with activity, descended into chaos as heavy snow wreaked havoc on the flight schedule. Approximately 320 of the 7600 scheduled flights were cancelled. Airport crews worked frantically to keep at least one runway operational and snow-free amid the relentless snowfall. If you are anticipating more outstanding content, we would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed and joined us for the journey. Passengers were forced to deplane after their Delta Airlines aircraft caught fire while parked at the gate at Seattle Tacoma International Airport. The fire, which started under the cockpit, prompted a rapid evacuation of the plane. Emergency responders quickly arrived on the scene to control the blaze and ensure the safety of everyone on board. Fortunately, all passengers were safely evacuated without injury. It is one of the busiest airports in the United States and a key hub for flights to Latin America and the Caribbean. A passenger plane at a U.S. city's international airport experienced a collapse of its landing gear upon landing, followed by a fire.
Gracias a Dios, hay una mierda de emergencia, papá.
Fortunately, no harm was reported among the 140 passengers on board. The McDonnell Douglas Maryland 82 plane was seen lying crooked on the runway with a crushed nose and emitting thick black smoke. Subsequently, the aircraft veered off the runway before coming to a stop in a grassy area, where a fire broke out on its right-hand side. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, ATL, is one of the busiest airports in the world, located approximately 10 miles 16 kilometers south of downtown Atlanta, Georgia.
Departing from D10, and again, we're coming in at 26, D26.
Passengers on a Spirit Airlines flight from Tampa to Atlanta on July 10, 2022 morning are reported to be unharmed after the aircraft experienced a small fire upon landing. An overheated brake caused the incident, leading to the involvement of Atlanta Fire Rescue to extinguish the flames emanating from the left rear wheel after the plane hit the tarmac. Once the fire was under control, the plane was towed to a gate, and all passengers were able to safely disembark. There was no harm reported.
Everyone keep the aisles clear. Stay seated, please.
On October 30, 2015, a passenger plane's engine caught fire while it was preparing for takeoff at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. As the situation escalated, passengers were quickly evacuated using emergency slides. The swift response ensured that everyone on board was safely removed from the aircraft, while emergency crews worked to contain the fire and address the incident. Stay tuned for more exciting and insightful content coming your way. All of the more than 30 passengers on board were safely evacuated and no injuries were reported. Video footage from the scene showed the plane upside down after what appeared to be a landing flip. Firefighters rushed to the runway, hosing down the aircraft as flames and black smoke billowed into the air. The aircraft, owned by Juba Airways, was on an internal flight between the city of Baidoa and Mogadishu. It's a key regional airport that handles both domestic and limited international flights. A small plane experienced a dramatic emergency landing at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport on April 29, 2017.
Sorry, Josh, he's coming in close. Oh, look at the sparks. It's down, they're down.
The aircraft touched down urgently, prompting swift action from emergency responders to ensure everyone's safety. Details about the cause and any potential damage will be assessed post-incident.
Here they come out of the plane. That was yeah.
The incident led to emergency responders quickly arriving at the scene to manage the situation. The area affected would likely have seen disruptions as first responders and investigators worked to address the situation and assess any potential damage.
Oh my god, Peyton, it's crashing.
Yeah.
It's crashing.
What the?
God. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh.
The airplane departed Santa Fe Municipal Airport in Santa Fe, New Mexico, around 6:39 a.m. en route to Peoria International Airport in Peoria, Illinois. The aircraft sustained substantial damage during the incident. A fatal accident involving a Mooney M20 M257 TLS Bravo N9156Z occurred on August 7, 2021, near Victoria, Minnesota. The pilot initiated an instrument landing system approach in instrument meteorological conditions, but encountered difficulties, leading to a spiral descent and subsequent impact with the ground. Investigation revealed that the airplane exceeded its maximum positive load factor during the spiral descent. Stay with us until the end. You wouldn't want to miss the moments that are certain to ignite your imagination. Two plane crash survivors took a selfie while covered in firefighting foam after their aircraft collided with a fire truck at Lima's International Airport in Peru on 21 November 2022. The incident occurred during takeoff, when the fire truck unexpectedly entered the runway, causing the plane to hit it and resulting in a fire and damage to the aircraft's wheels.
La empresa Latam del Perú. Acaba de sufrir un percance aéreo en el terminal terrestre. Lima.
Footage captured after the Russian plane crash on May 8, 2019 reveals passengers evacuating the scene while carrying their belongings, raising worries that the act of retrieving their bags might have hindered others' escape efforts. The Aeroflot aircraft executed an emergency landing in Moscow, erupting into flames immediately and engulfing the airliner carrying 78 individuals. Smoke billowed from an Air India flight that discontinued its landing on Wednesday, prompting passengers to evacuate. The flight was supposed to depart from Muscat International Airport on the morning of 14 September, heading to Kochi, India. However, the pilots had to abort the landing due to an engine smoke alert. A large mass of white smoke covered the front section of the Boeing 737-800 as passengers made a quick exit using the inflatable slides. A Boeing jet operated by Air Canada experienced flames shooting from its engine as it took off, leading to an urgent decision to turn around for an emergency landing.
Holy got an engine fire. Holy
This dramatic incident unfolded after the departure of Flight AC-872 from Toronto to Paris late June 7, 2024. The passengers witnessed the unnerving sight as the aircraft ascended from the runway, with flames suddenly emerging from the rear of the plane. On September 6, 2021, a privately built experimental Monet Moni aircraft experienced an apparent stall and spin shortly after taking off from Harvey Young Airport in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The plane impacted the terrain of a church parking lot, resulting in substantial damage. The sole occupant, an untrained and non-certificated pilot, sustained serious injuries. Unfortunately, these harm proved fatal on September 8, 2021. This flight was reportedly the maiden flight for the untrained pilot. Long Beach Airport, officially known as Long Beach Municipal Airport, is located in Long Beach, California, about 3 miles northeast of downtown. On July 20, 2024, a fiery plane crash occurred at Long Beach Airport in Tofino, BC, just before 1 p.m. Police responded to reports of a crash and fire on the runway. Initial information suggests that a small 6-seat aircraft experienced an engine fire during takeoff. One occupant was pulled from the plane and transported to the hospital with serious injuries. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Bacău is a city located in northeastern Romania, situated in the historical region of Moldova. It serves as the county seat of Bacăuci and is an important economic, cultural, and administrative center in the area. In 1995, a Romanian Air Force Yak-52, with the registration unknown, crashed during an air show in Bacău, Romania. The incident occurred while the aircraft was performing an aerobatic display and reportedly experienced engine problems. The crash happened near the airport runway, resulting in the death of the pilot and serious injuries to the passenger. The pilot likely forgot to turn off the alternator switches after the last flight and didn't confirm they were off during the pre-flight check. Despite aviation's fail-safes, these errors combined and led to the incident. Palm River is a community located in Hillsborough County, Florida, near Tampa. The helicopter involved in the deadly Palm River crash landing on April 5, 2019, had experienced possible mechanical problems days before the incident.
Paul.
I almost hit that truck, man.
I saw you coming down.
Jeff.
A Learjet 45 aircraft with 8 people on board skidded off the runway at Mumbai Airport while landing amid heavy rain on Sept 15, 2023. The private jet, owned by VSR Ventures, was flying from Vizag. There were 6 passengers and 2 crew members on the plane. Visibility was only 700 meters due to the heavy rain. Despite the incident, airport operations have not been halted, and all arrivals and departures are proceeding as scheduled. The aircraft torn apart, surrounded by debris, highlighting the intensity of the crash.
Jeesus Maria. Mitä figyelj, te mit csinálsz?
At approximately 5:40 p.m., the plane crashed into a vacant lot and a house. This reminds pilots to be prepared before taking off. On August 17, 2021, a transport plane crashed near Kubinka, Moscow. Witnesses said that the right engine caught fire before the accident.
Смотри, самолет горит.
Of course, I did not expect this to happen.
Я не знаю. Да. Все.
Ой, упал. Мама дорогая.
Ё-моё.
Ой, вообще ужас какой.
Пипец.
Brazilian authorities say a private plane crashed in a wooded area in São Paulo state. Share your thoughts in the comments below. In Chambers County, TX, a terrifying plane crash occurred on a highway. Thankfully, no one on the ground was hurted.
Into the lead, and Hogue is falling back now, at least into third.
Oh no.
There was a problem. Oh, we've had it.
helicopter lost control and crashed. Melbourne's worst plane disaster in 30 years unfolded as the plane took off and stabilized around 20 to 30 meters above the airport.
Crossed up like a goddamn crossed up like a goddamn
although, you know, good, little minty
Bombs away, baby! Bombs away!
In Kennesaw, USA, a small two-seater plane crashed on Cobb Parkway after the pilot's engine failed. Drivers seem to encounter a challenge with the large timber trucks as their daily task involves transporting enormous wood blocks. The disturbing collision occurred when a lumber truck carrying unstable cargo was navigating corners. The vehicle suffered extensive damage, with piles of wood strewn along the road. In Tasmania's Florentine Valley, near Medina, unveils a massive section of a eucalyptus tree trunk, likely to be from one of the world's tallest trees, standing at an astounding 90 meters 300 feet. The trunk was transported on a log truck with worries about the careful handling by the driver. The logging truck has successfully completed its task of transporting a full load of wood after the harvest. Maneuvering that massive vehicle and navigating steep, muddy roads demands exceptional driving skill and patience to overcome challenging road conditions. Yeah, Russian logging truck plowed through the mud. Who would have thought it could make it? This is some pretty badass driving. The truck got submerged deep in the Siberian mud but showcased its impressive amphibious capabilities. More. Oklahoma is part of the Oklahoma City metropolitan area and lies between the cities of Norman to the south and Oklahoma City to the north. On the afternoon of August 20th, 2023, a major train derailment occurred between Moore and Norman, Oklahoma. The 22 cars carrying non-toxic plastic pallets went off the tracks. The derailment was caused by a mechanical issue, but BNSF is still investigating. Thankfully, the cargo posed no threat to the surrounding community, and no one was harmed. In Collegedale, Tennessee, a train crash occurred when a concrete beam transport vehicle got stuck on the railway tracks at a level crossing.
Oh no. What a mess, Priscilla. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
The This led to significant disruption as the train hit the stationary vehicle, resulting in substantial damage and scattered debris on the tracks, potentially causing train service delays. Langley is a city located in British Columbia, Canada, situated in the Fraser Valley near the eastern edge of Metro Vancouver.
Terrifying moments in...
A CN train collided with a mobile home on the train tracks in Langley, BC, near the Golden Ears Bridge on the morning of March 5, 2024. Just seconds before the crash, a man was seen running away from the motorhome. Bryansk is situated in the western part of Russia, near the border with Belarus and Ukraine. Explosive devices derailed a Russian freight train and obliterated power cables. The train, loaded with oil and construction materials, erupted into a fiery inferno after a blast on the tracks in the Bryansk region. Several carriages were destroyed, lying ablaze on their sides, as dark grey smoke billowed ominously into the sky. But thankfully, no one was harmed during the incident. A timber truck, also referred to as a logging or lumber truck, is a heavy-duty vehicle designed to transport timber from forests to processing facilities or lumber yards. Equipped with specialized trailers, these trucks securely transport large quantities of logs, playing a vital role in efficiently moving timber from remote forested areas to processing facilities. It seemed as though it had become trapped in the mud while carrying a load of wood. The ZIL 131 timber truck, heavily laden with wood, struggled through the rugged forest, teetering on the brink of overloading and nearly toppling over. However, the dexterous driver skillfully averted disaster. If you liked what you saw, your support through likes and subscriptions would mean a lot to us. The Yam's 238 turbocharged engine was a lumber trucker's ultimate fantasy at the turn of the century, a dominating force in its era. The driver undoubtedly exerted great effort and caution while navigating the car through the treacherous road. Tulsa, Oklahoma, known as the oil capital of the world, is a vibrant city located along the Arkansas River.
Yep, that just happened.
Oh my god.
That's called a train derailment.
A driver captured the shocking moment when a train came off the tracks while crossing a road near Tulsa, Oklahoma on March 7th. The dramatic footage shows the train derailing, sending sparks flying as the cars twisted and toppled over. Despite the severity of the incident, no harm was reported. The Netherlands, known for its extensive canal systems, flat landscape and innovative infrastructure, is a country in Western Europe. A bus idling at a railroad crossing in the Netherlands was dramatically split in half after being crushed by an oncoming train. Miraculously, nobody was injured in the incident. The collision occurred when the train slammed into the bus, which was stationary on the tracks, causing the bus to be severed into two pieces. This shocking event underscores the critical importance of safety measures at railroad crossings. Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country in Central Asia, stretching across a vast expanse of land. A truck got stuck on railway tracks at a level crossing in Kazakhstan, right in the path of two oncoming freight trains. The driver, struggling with icy road conditions, tried to stop his semi-trailer but ended up skidding onto the tracks. Moments later, a cargo train roared past, temporarily blocking the view of the truck. Almost immediately, a passenger train sped by in the opposite direction. If you did, we would greatly appreciate your support through likes and subscriptions. Your involvement truly matters to us. Los Angeles, California, is a sprawling and vibrant city known for its diverse culture, entertainment industry, and significant economic impact. In Los Angeles, California, on Sunday, January 9, 2022, a dramatic rescue unfolded when emergency responders pulled a pilot from a crash-landed Cessna just seconds before the aircraft was struck by a train.
You okay, man?
The collision with the train sent debris scattering in all directions, underscoring the narrow escape and the intense moments of the rescue operation.
Oh my God.
Houston, Texas, is the largest city in the state and the fourth largest in the United States. On April 3, 2014, in Houston, an SUV was smashed by a train after the driver attempted to beat the train by running a red light and crossing the gates. The collision occurred as the SUV made contact with the moving train, resulting in a severe crash. The incident underscores the dangers of disregarding traffic signals and crossing gates at railway intersections. The Skoda Fabia driver obstructed the logging truck's path, leading to an accident. The condition of those involved is currently unknown. The overloaded logging truck failed to respond promptly as the car and the truck approached suddenly, causing the wood truck to overturn and triggering a chain of accidents. I have frequently gazed upon the abundant steep logging paths and been awestruck by the way the trucks master those difficult slopes. The skillfully built vehicle effortlessly maneuvers through the rough terrain, handling the tough journey with ease. The truck careens out of control, spinning wildly as it descends one of the hills in San Esteban Olancho, a tense moment captured on camera. The scene unfolds with dramatic intensity, highlighting the challenges of navigating steep terrain. It's a reminder of the unpredictable nature of such journeys. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a similar incident in mountainous regions? In Temple City, Georgia, USA, an 18-wheeler truck was struck by a fast-moving train shortly after the driver had exited the vehicle. The force of the impact was so intense that the truck was severely mangled and dragged several meters.
Yes! Wow.
The truck experienced a sudden malfunction while crossing the tracks, prompting the driver to hastily exit the vehicle in anticipation of the oncoming train. As a result of the incident, the entire railway line in Temple had to be closed for maintenance.
Wow.
Warman, Saskatchewan is a city located in the central part of the Canadian province of Saskatchewan, just north of Saskatoon. On September 26, 2022, a dramatic train derailment occurred near Warman, Saskatchewan, just outside Saskatoon.
No, that just happened. That just happened. No way.
The incident involved a Canadian National Railway CN freight train that went off the tracks, causing a chaotic scene with multiple cars derailed and scattered. Your support means the world to us. Kindly click the follow and subscribe buttons to keep abreast of all the amazing content that we have in store for you. Odessa is a city located in the southern part of Ukraine, near the Black Sea, known for its vibrant port, historical significance, and cultural heritage. On Wednesday, April 19th, in Odessa, a multi-vehicle crash involving a minivan and a pickup truck led to a subsequent train collision. The initial road accident resulted in the pickup truck ending up on the train tracks. As a train approached, it struck the truck. Fortunately, the person inside the truck was able to escape before the collision occurred. Baltimore is a major city in the state of Maryland, located on the east coast of the United States. On May 28, 2010, a CSX freight train collided with a trash truck in a Baltimore suburb, leading to a dramatic derailment.
That what is a train?
Yeah.
It's a train, yeah.
Come on, man.
The crash triggered a massive explosion that shook homes up to half a mile away. A towering plume of smoke from the explosion was visible for miles, marking the event as a significant and frightening incident in the area. The Wabash Heritage Unit is part of Norfolk Southern's Heritage Fleet, which includes several locomotives painted in the styles of predecessor railroads. A train collided with a truck, and among the units involved was the Wabash Heritage Unit. The incident caused a significant disruption and highlighted the risks at railway crossings. The impact resulted in notable damage to both the train and the truck, but fortunately, no serious injuries were reported. Texas is the second largest state in the United States by both area and population.
Everybody's looking like, what the hell?
A truck became stuck while attempting to bring a car across the railway tracks.
We gotta move.
Oh, shoot. Everybody got
What's
out.
up, Nick? Here goes the train right, hit it. Tape it.
I am. This shit is crazy. Oh, man. You said it too, babe. Now there's gotta be fire.
The situation created a hazardous scenario, as the truck's obstruction on the tracks posed a significant risk of collision with an oncoming train. Immediate action was needed to either remove the truck or alert the train to avoid a potential accident. WEWIN is a town located on the central coast of New South Wales, Australia. At the WEWIN crossing, the moment a train collided with a car was captured as the train smashed into the vehicle. The driver of the car had already exited the vehicle before the collision occurred, avoiding injury. The incident highlights the critical importance of safety measures at railway crossings and the need for drivers to be aware of and adhere to crossing signals. My respects to this driver who expertly maneuvers through tight curves, making it seem effortless as they climb from Tamazula Durango. Driving through such challenging terrain demands skill and composure. It's impressive how some drivers handle these conditions with such finesse. Have you ever driven through challenging mountain roads like this? A truck driver narrowly escaped tragedy in West Odessa, Texas, when his rig became stuck on train tracks just as an oncoming engine approached.
Holy moly! Woo!
The train collided with the truck, causing its load of pipes to scatter through the air in a dramatic collision. Thankfully, despite the colossal impact, no harm was reported. We're eager to bring you more valuable content and insights in future videos. The log truck, weighing about 70,000 kg, navigates the challenging ascent at the rear of N.W. Bay Road near Devlin. It's equipped with chains on the rear axle and locked axles for added traction. Most trips required chaining up due to the difficult terrain, highlighting the necessity for precautionary measures in such conditions. The Buenos Aires railway system is a significant component of Argentina's transportation network, serving the capital city and its surrounding areas. On September 13, 2011, in Flores, Buenos Aires, Argentina, a tragic accident occurred when a bus crashed into a train at a railway crossing. The collision caused the train to derail and collide with another train. The accident resulted in 228 people being harmed. The incident highlighted serious concerns about safety measures at railway crossings and emergency response. Hardin County, located in various states in the U.S., typically refers to counties with this name in regions like Texas, Kentucky, Ohio, and Illinois. In a recent incident in Hardin County, a train collided with a semi-truck, leading to the driver of the truck being hospitalized. The accident, which occurred at a railway crossing, involved a freight train and a semi carrying goods. Nanguis is a commune in the Seine-et-Marne department in the Île-de-France region of north-central France, located approximately 70 kilometers southeast of Paris. On April 21, 2015, a low-bed trailer became trapped on a railroad crossing in Nanguis, France. Just 4 minutes later, a train barreled through at full speed, resulting in a collision that caused injuries to 30 people. Nesquoning is a borough located in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, in the northeastern part of the state. Wellington is a village in Lorain County, Ohio, located in the northeastern part of the state. The CSX derailment in Wellington, Ohio, occurred around 6 a.m. on Tuesday, May 28, 2019. The incident involved a CSX freight train that derailed, causing significant disruption. Emergency responders were quickly on the scene to manage the situation, which included addressing any hazardous materials and clearing the tracks to resume normal operations. Utah, located in the western United States, is known for its diverse landscapes, which include vast deserts, majestic mountains, and unique rock formations. A serious incident in Utah where a double-decker train collided with a FedEx truck. The crash occurred after the warning signals at the crossing failed to operate properly, leading to the train smashing through the truck. Driving through the slippery, watery skids hauls logs from the highlands of Cape Breton Island, undertaking a job fraught with stress and danger. It's a job that demands deep appreciation for the challenges faced in the remote backwoods. Transporting harvested wood involves navigating muddy roads, which are extremely challenging to traverse on foot. Log trucks often rely on the assistance of vehicles ahead to navigate through the mud without getting stuck. Can you imagine driving a car loaded with that pile of wood on such treacherous roads? A logging truck was speeding down NC Highway 221, known for its long, steep, and winding inclines. The driver followed behind him at a slow pace for about 5 minutes before he graciously moved over to let the line of cars pass. The driver decided to pull over at the first safe spot to capture a video of his engine brake in action. Log trucks navigating remote roads in Quebec Province, Canada, particularly near Waswanipi, can reach nearly 20 feet in height, 60 feet in length, and 14 feet in width.
Oh my God! It's a second.
Motorists who fail to yield to these massive log haulers risk disastrous consequences. The sheer size and weight of these trucks underscore the importance of caution and awareness on these challenging roads.
It was a wreck.
The M5 highway in Russia, passing through Chelyabinsk, is commonly known as the Ural Federal Highway. In Russia, specifically in the Chelyabinsk region along the M5 highway, a Volvo truck driver encountered a critical situation when they realized their brakes had failed while descending a slope.
Ёбаный в рот! Ребята тут!
A mass collision took place when cars continuously crashed into each other. It seems that a truck unfortunately fell off the bridge. This incident highlights the dangers and challenges faced by drivers on highways, emphasizing the importance of vehicle maintenance. Texas, known as the Lone Star State, symbolizes independence and pride, rooted in its history as a former republic. We often overlook the ordinary aspects of our lives as we go about our daily routines in our vehicles. It's easy to forget the value of simply being alive until an out-of-control cement mixer collides head-on with a Toyota Sienna. The terrifying experience is downright petrifying.